Hi, I'm getting used to Zoom, the Zoom setup.
Yeah, they switched, huh? The town.
Yeah. Um, which is fine. Yeah. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie. There she is. I saw Katie in person.
Yeah,
Mansfield Town Festival.
that was good. That was a good festival. I
That
gotta,
was fun. We saw people.
yeah. No, I had a good time with it. Thought it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good day. It was beautiful weather.
Oh, yeah, that's what made it very good. I don't know if Al's gonna make it or not. He's got a tax deadline of October 15th, which was the extensions from, what was it, May? You know, they were supposed to have them April 15th. Well, they get extensions till October 15th. And so he's busy working on helping those people that are dragging their heels.
Okay.
And so he wanted to make it, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. I was so surprised. By the way, this recording is happening. It happens as soon as I open it. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, great.
You were asked that question, right? When you entered, like there was a
Yeah.
prompt
Yes.
that told you it was recording. Okay.
Yeah.
I was shocked to hear that David Freudman, town council member David Freudman died.
Yes.
I didn't hear that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know he was sickly. So
He kept it under wraps
yeah,
and didn't tell too many people. Yeah, he got cancer.
yeah. Way
Oh,
too many people getting cancer. It's just crazy. Yeah.
No, he was a spitfire on the town council, but he really did love Mansfield and really wanted to try to do very good by it. But sometimes he came across not very good. But you know, he was just so passionate. That was the key.
Yeah, you could tell that he cared dearly about his town.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is so true. I started questioning whether I sent you the Zoom link, but I did on Friday. I sent it out, right? I mean, that's how
Yeah.
you wouldn't be on here if I hadn't sent it.
yeah,
Right.
we had it.
I just, yeah. So anyhow, because time was coming on, but I don't see anybody else wanting to be admitted unless, let's see.
I like the go-to meeting program better. This
Do
one
you?
you have to put in the passcode, and if you can't switch your screens like I can, then sometimes it's a little hard.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was recommended by IT that we have a passcode to join.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is security wise, it is better.
Right, to protect, yeah. So,
Yeah, somebody might hack sustainability and plan to rule the world by dumping
Yeah.
all the garbage on somebody.
yeah. Yeah. So the challenge is that, oh, okay, so Bill is here. Let's see. Hi, Bill.
He's still muted.
Hi, Bill. You could probably unmute him, Ginny, if you want to help him in the participant list. You hover over his name.
Right, it says ask to, I have to ask to unmute.
Good try, then he might click on something.
Oh, man.
Oh, there we go.
Hi,
I got it
Bill.
now. How you doing?
Good. How
fine.
are you?
Okay, okay.
Good to hear your voice.
Thank you. You too.
So we're waiting for a couple more people, I guess.
Well,
Peter joining or Matt?
I didn't hear from Matt or Peter saying that they wouldn't come. We know Susanna's not available.
Right.
So,
So we don't have a quorum.
no.
All right. Well, should we? I guess we can call the meeting to order, and it's not an official meeting because we don't have a quorum, but we can still have updates. Does that
Right.
sound-
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right, we'll do that. We'll call the meeting to order without a quorum and won't take any action at this committee unless people join us and we do get a quorum. So this is the October meeting of the Mansfield Sustainability Committee. And we've got committee members Lynn Stoddard, Katie Fertoni, and Bill Lennon, and staff member Ginny Walton. So we won't look to approve minutes because we can't take a vote. Solar canopies. Do you have an update on that, Ginny, or were we waiting on Peter?
So the minutes reflected that at this meeting or a future meeting, the committee was to decide whether to be advocates for installing a couple different solar canopies, looking into solar canopies for, Peter was suggesting the middle school and the town hall, because the town, even though the town was selected for the solar map, when they got to the actual roof material, it was not feasible to put a solar panel on it. So that's off the plan now. So that the presentation that was made a couple months ago, I think it was July, to the committee by a person from PACE. I don't recall his name.
Mark Scully.
Yes, PACE was making themselves available for a town to enlist with them, build out solar canopies. But Peter was suggesting that would probably entail, few people really taking this on as a project. And he really didn't have the time to do that, but he was hoping that the committee would advocate for two buildings, the middle school and town hall. So that's where it was left for
In
the committee.
Parking lots of those two buildings, I guess.
Yeah. And at the last meeting I had, which I didn't queue them up, but I had the kind of draft of what that might look like. Mark Scully had presented that to us, used those, well, actually he used the town garage and the middle school as where the canopies might be placed. But So that's where that sits at this moment, is just what does the committee want to do?
Yeah,
Um,
so,
I don't understand solar canopies still that much. So they would be set up as a canopy, cars would park under it. So it's not taking up parking spaces, right?
Correct.
Right.
And
Right.
then there'd be lead lines that would be attached to the town hall and help them with their electricity?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. And so instead of placing it on the roof and the
Right.
town hall benefiting from it, there's a line going out to the parking lot, and the canopies, there are some benefits to canopies in that they provide shade for the
Yeah.
asphalt, and shade for cars. So in the summertime, a car may not heat up as much during the summer heat. They also can keep snow off cars.
Yeah.
Another benefit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But they are more costly than on a rooftop because you've got to bring a line out to the canopies.
plus I would think the structure that they're attached to being a certain height, when you attach them to the roof, there's some structure underneath it, but not like a metal structure holding it up 8, 9 feet in the air. So I can see how it'd be more.
Yeah, there's more involved with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
than putting it on a roof. So Matt is joining us.
hey, Matt. So I think it's a great idea to explore. I'm just not certain if there's financing or how much. I think Pace has looked at kind of potential from air photos and stuff, but they don't have the capability to do a technical analysis or like a cost. So we need to get a developer involved, and they'd need to propose a PPA. So, kind of one location might be better than the other, might be cheaper than the other or have more advantages. So I feel like conceptually, I think it's a good idea. But it would require like official action by the town to engage a developer or someone to spec it out. Yeah. Hi, Matt. We're talking about solar canopies and potential next steps.
Awesome. I'm on my phone, so I had to remember how to use it because it's one of those days when it rains, it pours, and then I come in to sit down at the computer already a couple minutes late. And one of the kids had unplugged the plug, the thing's dead. I'm like, no, I just couldn't win. I'm like, they're gonna hate me. Sorry, I was a couple minutes late, guys.
No problem. It's good
Not
to
a
see you.
problem.
Glad you're here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so it sounds like, I don't know, Bill or Matt, if the Pace talked about solar canopies, certainly an interesting concept, and like, yeah, could be really cool. I was just saying, we're not sure like that there's financing or how the PPAs work for that, because they are more expensive than rooftop installations. And so basically, like, we could recommend that the town explore it, but it's an official town action to engage with a developer or someone to figure out which sites and how much it would cost and how it would be financed, I
Hmm.
guess.
Did they mention how much more expensive? Like, is it 10% more or are we talking 50% more? Did they have any kind of estimate on how much more it was gonna be?
I don't remember the details they might have.
Yeah, I couldn't remember anything either, and because I know we've talked about it quite a bit, but
Yeah,
it now as far as the other thing, it has to be weighed in too, is the best part about that was the fact that this space where they're putting the canopies is already destroyed. So there's a value in not having, like, I forget who was saying it at one of our previous meetings, we're not ripping out forests to put in solar panels. We're
Right.
already using solar panels in a place that's already, about as bad as you can get a parking lot. So that's kind of nice, but yeah.
Yeah, that was the premise Mark Scully from PACE was using in his presentation, was that it's already developed, so you're not disturbing your forests and meadows.
I had a problem with it looking aesthetically, but I have come around and I think that it definitely has a lot more good points than bad points, and I would support it.
I'm just looking at, I pulled up the information from PACE and actually, Ginny, if
You want
can-
me to give you sharing privileges?
you can let me share screen, we can look at it quickly. Okay.
Okay, you're co-host.
Okay. So here's PACE's guide to solar canopies, background goals. Basically, here's the thing. PACE would
I'm
do,
seeing the agenda.
oops,
Right.
sorry.
Yeah.
Hold on a
Okay.
second. Let me stop share. Sorry about that. This is it. Okay. There, got it.
Yes.
So PACE will conduct initial high-level analysis of the town's solar canopy potential, issue a draft report, create detailed solar array maps and data for select potential sites, provide the town a list, potential annual production, work with the local project team, incorporate knowledge of the potential sites, provide a revised report, work with the town to facilitate the procurement of installer proposals. So again, we'd have to go out for installers. The town will gather a project team, seek the support of the town's executive body, work with PACE to review this stuff, select several sites, conduct separate review of municipal sites, work with one of several installers. Anyway, so you can see yeah, that's kind of the outline of what the roles would be if we wanted to engage with PACE. So I think, as you were saying, Ginny, as Peter said, getting like a interested team of residents and maybe people on the staff engaged to kind of work with PACE and interact with the town on, like engaging with an installer and that kind of stuff. It's probably what would need to happen. So is anyone interested in kind of spearheading this or taking it on?
if there were members of the committee that were interested, I could check with the director of maintenance, the maintenance department, and the town manager's office to see if there would be staff, to see who could be involved in terms of staff support. I would think that the maintenance director, Alan Corson, would be interested. It's just a matter of, what does he have the time? But I could see him interested in being part of a stakeholder group. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be. Peter was really interested in it, but he said he doesn't have time.
yeah, well, yes, he's interested in, he wasn't really advocating for what you showed just now on the screen. He was advocating for the committee to recommend two locations, to sending a memo to the town manager's office, asking if those two locations could be explored for solar canopies, instead of like having Pace analyze the whole town.
Okay. I mean, I suppose we could, sometimes we just take a motion and then it can be referred to the appropriate town staff that we recommend exploring those opportunities. That sounds like a little easier of a lift in a way, like, it really has to be embraced by town staff in order to make it happen. So would anyone be interested in making a motion to encourage town staff to look at the opportunity for installing solar canopies at the middle school and the town hall, or other appropriate sites maybe?
Were we gonna consider the high school too in that, or no? Because I'm wondering if you were gonna do it in the parking lot of Town Hall. The E.O. Smith, one of its parking lots is adjacent to that. And that might be cheaper for the cost of install, maybe not. But like if you're on one side of the little grass median, seems like you could be on the other grass median side too. I don't know.
I suppose the motion could suggest they look at those sites and opportunities with E.O. Smith, since it's a different jurisdiction, basically.
Oh, is it?
Well, they have their own board. It's
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, so,
board. It's not a Mansfield property.
so it would have to be like a collaboration then in that sense?
It's a
Ashford and
Region
Wellington.
19. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have to go through Region 19.
Oh, I got you guys. I understand now.
Yeah.
I'd like to make that motion. I forget all you said, that the town look at the sites at the town hall, the middle school, and explore a collaboration with Region 19 for or a portion of their parking lot to put solar canopies there. I think I did it. Is that okay, Lynn?
That sounds what we were talking about.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Got a motion. We've got a second by Katie. Great. Any additional discussion? And we do have a quorum, right? We've got 4 with Matt.
Yeah.
All right. So all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. 0. Any abstentions? 0. Okay. So all 4 voted for that. So I guess that'll be reflected in the minutes, and Ginny, maybe you could send an email and kind of to the appropriate staff, and including Ryan, and reference the vote.
Yeah,
That'd be
okay.
great. Excellent. Thanks, guys. All right, now we're gonna go backwards and looking for a motion to approve the July 14th meeting minutes of the Sustainability Committee. Do we have a motion?
I have a
move to approve
motion.
the July 14th minutes.
All right, sounds like we got Katie and Matt, first and second. So all in favor of approving July 14th minutes, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions? All right, and now I'll entertain a motion to approve the September 8th minutes of the Sustainability Committee as drafted.
I'll put forth that motion.
Thanks, Katie. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's the motion team, Katie.
Yeah.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Woo, okay. We just had 3 quick votes. Great.
All right.
That brings us to climate resolution status. So I can start that update. Ginny and I attended the town council meeting on, I think it was like September 17th or 13th, with the resolution that this committee had drafted with kind of some additional edits that you empowered us to make based on input from the town staff and leadership. There was quite a discussion by the council. They ultimately voted to approve the resolution, which was fantastic, as drafted. The discussion was really about our comment that this would take dedicated staff time, even though that wasn't something in the resolution. We noted that, like, that this means you have to do something. So there's a bit of discussion about that. Wasn't really resolved, some options thrown around. Some concerns about achievability and, I guess, cost, but ultimately it passed. So that's great. So now we have a passed resolution that says the mayor will direct the department heads to look at the climate actions in the Plan of Conservation and Development and the Mansfield Climate Action Task Force report, identify any new actions, things they've done, already implemented, and actions to reduce, help reduce the town's carbon footprint to net zero for municipal operations by 2030. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I think that we need to, I meant to follow up with the town manager and the mayor to thank them for bringing that to the council and ask them what's happened. I didn't get a chance to. So I don't know if you've heard anything, but I can do that tonight after the meeting, because it basically involves some direction from the leadership to the department chairs.
I've heard nothing, so yeah, might be helpful. The other thing is I talked to the town's communications coordinator, Margaret Chatty, about putting it in the October town manager newsletter. So it did not get in the newsletter because Margaret thought that there should be, I had just a short write-up, but she thought that it should be expanded, the coverage of it. So I asked her if there was any plans to do a press release. And so that is something that maybe if we could get a quote from this committee, that there really should be something sent out to the community about the passing of this resolution, because the resolution is asking for action from the town. So, residents should know what's afoot. So I'll follow up on that, and between Margaret and me, maybe we can we'll put something together, and then see if there's anybody from the committee that would, like Lynn, maybe contribute a quote to it.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll
Mhm.
mention that in the my email to the mayor and town manager, that in addition to, like, the committee's interested to know what they've done, we're offer our support as a resource. That we'd also like to see this publicized in a newsletter and a press release, so that
I think that's the only way we can get any movement on it, is to get publicity about it. Let
Yeah.
people know that we are working and thinking that way. And it might get other individuals excited about it too.
yeah. And yeah, exactly. Jumping in and helping and holding the town accountable and so on.
Okay.
Great. Well, that was a long, it took a long time, but I'm really proud of the committee. We kind of started with some drafts from other towns, and they didn't fit quite right. We wanted more teeth. We wanted specific. We wanted it actionable. And so, yeah, I'm proud of where we landed. And thank you guys for the work on that. It took some months, but I think it was well worth the time to customize it and really think it through. Sustainable CT. Do you want to talk about that, Ginny, or do you want me to? Or
You start.
okay. So as I think you all know, Mansfield earned silver sustainable CT certification status in 2019. And right, it's a 3-year certification.
Yeah.
So 2021, 22. At the end of 2022, that certification will expire, and we'd like to keep Mansfield certified, and more importantly, keep doing great things to make our community an awesome place for all people to live. And we're already doing things like the climate resolution, exploring additional solar. The mural that's going up will go up on the community center, and so on. So yeah, it's time to start looking at kind of where we are with progress on sustainable CT actions, and beginning to put together a plan of how we get there over the next year, what we may have already implemented and what else we need to tackle to really make a difference. Jenny, do you want to add anything?
Well, I guess I have some questions. Will sustainable CT, well, first of all, has sustainable, I haven't heard anything about a gold standard, a gold award. Or did I? And I just lost track.
No, it has not been developed yet. Still like
Okay, in the works. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Be ready for 2022.
it will be ready for
Well,
2022?
not. There will be no
Okay.
gold medal for 2022.
Okay. And then will there be will there be fellows because in 2019 there were fellows that helped. Will there be fellows available to help?
Yeah, there will definitely be fellows available, but they're only available in the summer, so they start
Okay.
in June,
Okay,
July, and August.
right.
Yeah, there's also Mansfield often uses interns. Actually, Jenny and I had a quick conversation about this. Sustainable CT has former fellows that know the program really well, that are still students here at UConn. And so Mansfield could maybe tap into some of those students to help during the course of this year. In fact, that would be great that they get started and look at kind of where we are and where we need to go.
Yeah. Well, could you, I guess I'm not at the point of getting names, but I'm thinking that it'd be Jennifer and I that would be putting together the application like we did in 2019. So I guess the next step would be for me to talk to Jennifer about reapplying and if, I mean, we had an intern putting together the application and he was so helpful. I mean, it was incredible what he did. And then he left and we wrapped it up. When is the application due?
So there's a submission timeline in April that's could be used
Okay.
as a pre-application time or full application, and then the deadline's the end of August usually.
Okay.
So it's timed with like the fellows being able to help through the summer. So yeah, I guess the other thing would be, I assume the interns are paid like usually by the town. Maybe you want to explore with Ryan or whoever is the appropriate person of whether, you know, if you identified a student that could help with this, the town
Yeah.
funding for that.
Yeah. Okay. I wonder if they'd also help with putting together data for the energy consumption of the,
Yeah.
the town. So,
Yeah, that could-
okay. All right, April and then due August. Okay. So I guess the next step would be for me to just bring this up to, I mean, is this committee interested in pursuing, re-upping the certification?
Yes, I'd like to see them do it.
Okay.
And when you talk about compiling the fuel cost, I guess, is that like filling out an Excel spreadsheet or something like that, or taking
Well,
data from reports?
it is, yeah, it's evaluating data that's already gathered and adding to it. So the town, we have been compiling our electricity, fuel, and I think natural gas in some cases. Some buildings have natural gas, and solar, for several years. But it's not a complete picture. Like it's kind of compiling it and then helping to evaluate, which is not, I mean, my own unless the EPA's portfolio manager does a better job of it than the energy watchdog that the town uses. I don't know, Yeah,
Yeah, so it's kind of finding a platform that'll take that data and convert it into greenhouse gas emissions and do the equivalencies for electricity to what's in our grid in terms of where the electricity is coming from. So yeah, portfolio manager only does buildings. So it wouldn't do the vehicle.
okay, all right. Yeah, I knew there were some limitations to it. It also doesn't do all types of buildings either, at least not, I've been out of the loop for a while with this, but I did start tracking the data back in, I don't know, 2007, 2008. Was
Mhm.
it that far back? That's a long time ago. And portfolio manager, like they'll do schools or they'll do, so I don't know if it's been more fleshed out. I've just been out of it, out
They
of that
basically
aspect.
do all town building types.
Now they
schools,
do?
Libraries, town hall, like,
Okay,
I think they might even do firehouses now. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right, yeah. So, yeah, Katie, were you asking because,
Well, I mean, I'm retired. I have my summers off. Yeah, I do have a few other responsibilities. Now I'm president of our park association and I'm still on planning and zoning, which is kind of crazy right now. But if it comes to compiling data, I'm used to doing, sorry, I got a cat on my thing. I'm used to, I've done cost studies and stuff like that.
okay,
And if it's compiling data that way, I would be willing to give some hours to do that. I do know how to use Excel. Or I can learn another program. I'm not afraid of my computer or anything. So
okay,
I would be willing to volunteer to do some manual work that way
yeah,
to help out.
okay. That's great to know. Thank
That's
you.
awesome,
Yeah.
Katie. Thank you.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
all
the
right.
town council was asking if our committee could do this work, and I was like, yeah, I don't think so.
Well, one of the people on the town council knows that I'm also a bookkeeper. And in a past life, I was a librarian. So I'm
Oh, okay.
detail orientated, and I'm also an organizational freak. So
Yeah,
I'd be willing to give it a try, and I will tell you that if it's over my head, I will admit it and pass it along to someone who has a better understanding. But I'd be willing to, at least work with some data and see what I could do.
okay. That is awesome. Yeah, all right.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah,
All right, so it sounds like the committee's supportive of the conversation around sustainable CT and possibly getting an intern and pursuing recertification. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next topic is other business. I actually thought of something. I don't know. I'll start with my item, and if anyone else has items. So as you know, I think the Human Rights Committee and various groups are kind of spearheading this mural painting that will go on the side of the community center that will highlight kind of Martin Luther King and contributions of moving towards greater racial equity. And so they had a public painting day on Sunday at the library, and I went, and it was fun. It was cool. Like, you didn't have to really paint. She made it easy. You took a paintbrush and smushed paint on, kind of like going to be background, and then she does the hard stuff. But it was fun. The deputy mayor appeared while I was there, and so did the town manager with his kids. So it was fun. There's another one coming up at UConn, I think it might be sometime this week, and there'll probably be more. So just to encourage folks, and there's also, it's a crowdfunding campaign that's run through Sustainable Cities Community Match Fund, and Sustainable CT matches every dollar raised. So if anyone feels inclined to donate any amount of money, that'll be doubled to help make this happen. So you could, I can send you the link, Ginny, if you want to send it out to people.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Does anyone else have other business?
Lynn, is that, do you have any partners at the high school working on that or no? Or getting the word out about it?
I don't know, because Glenn and other people are kind of spearheading it. So I think that would be awesome.
Because I could do an all staff email to the school, and even if it was just for donations or whatever, or just spread the word about it, because it sounds like that's something that a lot of the teachers and staff and students would be interested in. So
Yeah.
if you're able to pass that info on, I can pass that along as well.
Okay. We'll send the link, or I can just reply all and put it in the email from this tonight's information. And maybe I'll CC Glenn on it, and he can share information if it's, I'll try to find information on the next paint, community paint event, because the students, they might be interested in that. Cool. Anyone else have anything in other business?
I can report, I know this, I've wanted to do this at past meetings, but the Solid Waste Advisory Committee is really interested in getting food scraps out of the waste stream. Willimantic Waste Paper was recently bought out by a company. Willimantic Waste Paper is the trash and recycle hauler for pretty much all of Eastern Connecticut. And they were bought out by Casella Waste Systems out of Vermont. With the status of trash and our incinerators in Connecticut, the Hartford's incinerator is winding down, and they serve most of Connecticut's communities. So there is looming this trash crisis in Connecticut. More communities are now, instead of incinerating their trash, they're landfilling it, which means it's going out of state. When you landfill food scraps, the methane emissions go way up. Mansfield is not part of the Hartford incinerator, so our trash currently is still going to incinerator. However, I see the day in the future where our trash is once again going to be landfilled. And Casella owns and operates several landfills out of state. So I could see them moving in that direction. And
Hey, Jenny, why is the Hartford incinerator shutting down? Is it just old and they don't want to do anything with it, or?
It's very old and needs upgrades, and the decision was not to repurpose it for some other method of trash management or upgrade it. That's to the best of my understanding. So, and this has been happening for years. The point being is that we've in our small way as a committee, the committee has promoted backyard composting. I see us moving to compost collection at some point. The state definitely wants to build out the infrastructure for it. And along those lines, we'd we'd like to have some kind of school composting poster or PSA contest, and would like to include, to link greenhouse gas emission reductions with composting. Like, this is one way we can do it. It's tangible, it's within our control to do this, to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in this way. And so we'd like to involve, we'd like this to be K through 12. So maybe EO Smith could, you know, I don't know, Matt, if you could help to pass along the word, you know, once we develop the contest and the outline. Yeah, but
Yeah,
like to-
it would be, we'd have to figure out where it would go and all that other fun stuff. And yeah, I could work on that and talk to some people at EO and see if they'd be tolerant or willing. I'm not sure what the right word is
Yeah.
in that situation, but definitely worth looking into.
okay.
I know we were making some headway with that concept, and it, you know, and then COVID hit. So,
Oh, you're talking about setting up composting at the school, or the school?
well, we
compost-
thought about collecting it or whatever, and
Oh,
we had
yeah.
just barely talked about that, and then COVID hit. So
Yeah,
this is going back a little ways now, but yeah, COVID kind of wrecked a lot of stuff, but so yeah, moving forward, it would be worth looking into.
yeah, it would. You just, you know, logistically, you don't have the space on site, and, but yeah, I think though, with Casella, the one advantage is they're very accustomed to compost collections. So I see the community moving in the direction of collecting food scraps, and our priority will be at the residential end will be multifamily, where people do not have access to backyards and it's harder to do it. So that we would like to start there rather than single family. So, but anyhow, just so that you're aware of what's afoot and kind of the direction of where we'd like to see things happen in the not too distant future.
Great. Yeah, I think anything our committee can do to support stuff that the solid waste committee is working on.
Yeah, okay.
As that gets developed, that'd be great. Any other business anyone has to bring up? Okay, so our next meeting will be November, whatever. And send out the meeting agenda and information prior to that.
November 10th.
November 10th.
Okay.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Katie.
All right, any last words or comments? All right, good to see you all. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you much.
Yeah,
Take care.
Yeah,
We
good
need a
night.
motion to adjourn?
a motion to adjourn, please.
I make a motion to adjourn.
You're the motion man tonight. All
And
right.
I'll second it.
I
Okay.
I heard
Uh,
Bill second it.
Yay, Bill. Thank
I
you.
He broke the streak of the two dual motioners. Nice. Got in there at the end. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great evening.
You
Yeah,
too,
thank
thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.